never been inside, where those who should pay for their mistakes instead live in VIP suites. With beautiful visitors, feasting on lobster, drinking wine, having a private chef, and enough power to command even the guards. But how can those who should be isolated from society live like kings? El Chapo Guzman, the king of kings at Puente Grande. In the Latin American underworld, El Chapo is a symbol of absolute power, the leader of the Sinaloa cartel, Mexico's strongest drug trafficking organization. He controlled a transportation network stretching from South America to the US, with massive revenue and influence enough to make the entire justice system wobble. At his peak, his wealth was estimated at over $12 billion, allowing him to maintain power even while imprisoned. S most secure but turned into El Chapo. His cell had a flat-screen TV, multiple mobile phones, a private bathroom, and even a gym. His food was premium beef, imported seafood, fine cheeses, and drinks only seen at elite parties. Music, satellite TV, and unrestricted guest visits. Essentially, El Chapo lived inside the prison like a king who never lost the demeanor of an empire's leader, but that mansion-like shell was just the surface. During his imprisonment, he organized over 40 large parties right in the prison. Alcohol flowed non-stop, singers, models, and famous women appeared as if attending a lavish event, not visiting a prison. Prisoners drank for days on end, something unimaginable in any Mexican prison. Guards served him like resort staff, preparing rooms, bringing food, and even giving massages when requested. No one dared defy him because everyone understood El Chapo was the one truly in control here. With unlimited financial resources, he corrupted the prison almost completely. Officials were bribed, guards became servants, and any prisoner who displeased him was punished with just a word. It's often said the warden only had the title. The real leader of Puente Grande was El Chapo. From behind bars, he still ran his organization as smoothly as when free. Nothing demonstrated El Chapo's power more clearly than his two world-shocking prison escapes. The first time, he left the prison easily with the help of those tasked with guarding him. The second was even bolder. A kilometer-long tunnel with lighting and ventilation systems and a rail-mounted motorcycle helped him slip through the darkness like in a Hollywood movie. These two escapes exposed the weakness of Mexico's security system and proved his nearly unbreakable influence. But everything changed in 2017 when he was extradited to the US and sent to the maximum security ADX Florence prison, known as the solitary confinement hell. Here, all privileges vanished. He was locked up 23 hours a day in a small concrete cell. No satellite TV, no free communication, no visitors. His lawyers accused him of enduring psychological pressure tactics. Cold water thrown on him at 3 a.m., sleep constantly interrupted, misinformation about relatives, and complete isolation from other prisoners. From someone who could control an entire prison, El Chapo became absolutely isolated, and this contrast turned his story into a symbol of two completely different worlds of power. One side is the underground empire where he lived like a king. The other is a silent room where power dissolves into unanswered echoes. Juan Gabriel, the singer-prisoner with privileges at Licumberri. Unlike those who bought out entire prisons, Juan Gabriel's story at Licumberri took a completely different direction. He had no money, no power, only one thing: talent. In 1969, when arrested for drug cultivation, he was not yet a Mexican music legend. He was just a young man with a unique voice and songwriting ability that made anyone who heard him stop. Licumberry was a large and harsh prison, a place that could crush a young person's spirit. But just weeks after being imprisoned, things began to change. Every time he sang, during work, waiting for meals, or simply singing idly, the entire camp fell silent. That emotional voice made even cold-hearted guards listen, and they began seeking him out, asking him to sing more. In that heavy environment, his singing became a rare comfort, and from there, the first favors appeared. He was moved to a larger, cleaner room, given new clothes, and received good food from outside. These things no one openly called privileges, but everyone understood why they came. With just music, Juan Gabriel made his captors change their attitude, something many with money and power couldn't achieve. Thanks to growing trust, his creative life in prison began. He was allowed to keep a guitar, his inseparable companion. From there, he composed, practiced singing, and organized small performances right in the detention area. Prisoners from all cell blocks came to listen. His voice penetrated walls, spread beyond the prison, and reached cultural figures, artists, and even high-ranking officials. Unexpectedly, his fame spread beyond the prison. Outsiders came to visit, offering support and admiration. Their presence made Licumberry's management see Juan Gabriel as someone to protect, not just a prisoner. He became a rare case where the system treated him with respect instead of rigid discipline. It was these relationships that opened the door to his freedom. After just 2 years of imprisonment, in 1971, he was released early. No one knows exactly what happened behind the scenes, but many witnesses say influential figures intervened. Not just to save a person but to free a talent they believed was born to be on stage. And they were right. Right after being released, he signed his first $1 million music contract, launching a dazzling career with hundreds of hits. His story shows that prison is not always a place that buries people. Sometimes, the very place that seems darkest becomes where talent shines. And this story proves a profound point. Money can buy privilege, but only art has the power to soften even the coldest walls. Florian was not the typical prisoner entering Nakao prison to serve his sentence. He entered as a boss. Before his arrest, Florian was one of the most powerful drug lords in the Caribbean, controlling a cross-border trafficking network and possessing an estimated fortune of $100 million. For him, going to prison was not an end, but merely the opening of a new stage to continue his dominance. This time, from inside the prison that was supposed to control him. Florian's cell proved this most clearly. While other prisoners lived in darkness, with rusty, creaky beds, Florian resided in a room as transparent as a 5-star hotel suite.
Air conditioning ran all day, a 42-inch TV, mahogany furniture, a private refrigerator stocked with expensive food, and a king-size bed so wide 3 people could sleep in it with room to spare.
The stark contrast within Nakao became clear every time the guards opened his cell door. Outside, they lined up for bland meals. Inside, he drank wine and watched satellite TV as if in his private villa. Florian's cuisine was even more extravagant. He refused prison food, described by inmates as transported in ancient garbage bins, and hired a private chef to serve dishes found only on the tables of the elite. European caviar, lobster, Japanese beef, Dutch cheese, premium wines. His weekly food budget alone was about $10,000, more than the annual income of many Dominican families. But food was just a small part of the privilege chain. Florian had internet, game consoles, multiple mobile phones, satellite television, and private space to host parties with live music lasting all night. Beauties, models came and went at his will.
requiring only his readiness to spend $3,000 to $5,000 weekly for intimate visits.
In the eyes of many, his cell was no different from a miniature nightclub placed within a maximum security prison. His money even transformed the prison's operational system.
Guards, instead of supervising, became servants to his personal needs, delivering goods, passing messages, arranging visitor appointments. If Florian disliked someone, a single word was enough for that person to be roughed up right inside the camp.
Many recounted that the warden only had the title. Florian was the one who made the rules. He controlled security to such an extent that Nakao was truly a prison only for those without money. But that power did not last forever. In 2009, during a brawl with another inmate, Florian fell after a gunshot. That chaotic departure tore open the curtain covering Nakao, exposing a corruption network so deep that a kingpin could live like a king, right in the place that should have been the final boundary of justice. And to this day, that question still carries its full weight. How could a convicted person turn a prison into their personal domain? And who truly governs Nakao? San Antonio Prison, the underground resort on Margarita Island.
If there is any place in the world where the line between prison and resort almost disappears,
it is San Antonio Prison on Margarita Island. This is not a prison under the management of the law. It is an extreme testament to a system so corrupt that the state has almost no control left. Here, prisoners set their own rules, run, and manage themselves. Wardens merely observe from the outside like reluctant administrative staff. At the center of it all is the character known as Teofilo Rodriguez, nicknamed El Canijo. Under his hand, San Antonio became a true underground kingdom.
When he spoke, prisoners listened. When he demanded, the prison camp moved accordingly.
From a prison gang, he used money, connections, and government complicity to build a resort for himself, something anyone hearing it for the first time would think was an exaggeration. But no, San Antonio truly operated like that.
Right in the middle of the prison courtyard is a large swimming pool, where prisoners swim,
drink beer, play music, and sunbathe as if at a Caribbean resort. The cells are equipped with large beds, flat-screen TVs, air conditioning, luxurious wooden furniture, and full electronic equipment.
The corridors are always piled with imported beer, spirits, seafood, and food. All of it is brought in regularly, as if servicing a high-end hotel. Visitors come and go with almost no restrictions.
Models, dancers, women from the outside enter the prison at any time, as long as he approves. Barbecue parties, live houses, alcohol binges happen frequently, so much so it resembles a street festival. Prisoners not only eat and dance but also post videos on social media. And yet, no one in the authorities has the power to stop it. What makes San Antonio more alarming is the open appearance of weapons in prison.
Prisoners possess guns, knives, and even grenades. If disputes arise, they resolve them using the law of Canada.
No need for national laws. Mobile phones are used freely, becoming tools to manage outside activities.
Money flows into prison daily through a series of illegal activities: selling goods, collecting security fees, organizing escapes.
Even some prisoners are allowed to go out during the day.
They meet relatives, work, participate in social activities, and return to the camp at night to sleep.
All of this happens under the supervision of El Canado. He plays the role of both king, judge, and supreme protector. During his rule, San Antonio was no different from a miniature city, with its own economy, laws, and order. A world completely separate from state power. But that kingdom did not last forever. In 2016, El Canado died in a violent incident, and the system he built collapsed almost immediately. His death at age 71, amid severe loss of control that had been brewing for years, pressured the Venezuelan government to intervene. In 2017, the military was deployed, São Antonio was taken over and completely shut down. The story of São Antonio is not just a strange phenomenon, it is a warning. When laws are weak and corruption develops, just one person with money and influence can turn a prison, which should be the final boundary of order, into their own domain. And the prison then becomes just a name, with no meaning of justice left.
In Brazil, the name Robinho was less a symbol of football, a Santos prodigy, a star at Real Madrid, and one of the most technical players of his generation.
But the spotlight faded when he got involved in a scandal in Italy and was convicted in 2022. Robinho entered Tremembe prison with an unfinished career and a fortune of $50 million, which partly explains why his prison life was so different. Tremembe is known as a gentle detention place for politicians, artists, and people of status.
This prison is clean, spacious, quiet, and separated from chaotic detention areas, more like a rehabilitation facility than a prison.
Here, authorities tacitly understand that celebrities are easy targets for attacks, so they are given a safer environment, which also means more comfort. Thus, his life at Tremembe is far from the imagination of a Brazilian prison. He does not eat monotonous, unhygienic food.
Every day, his family brings in hot, familiar dishes, traditional rice, fried meat, salad, fried fish, pastries, and desserts.
This ensures his health and helps him avoid risks from poor quality food sources, which ordinary prisoners face daily.
On the football field, he quickly became the center of attention. His skills turned every internal match into a mini-show,
making prisoners and even gangs in the camp see him as a valuable asset to protect. Thus, he was almost completely safe, staying away from all conflicts. A level of protection that even money sometimes cannot buy, but fame can. Besides football, he has access to TV, a library, video games, and many entertainment means.
He often reads books, watches sports, or plays games.
Tremembe also has a large garden, where he spends time planting, caring for plants, and harvesting fruits. These outdoor moments bring him peace, something his glamorous life on the football field rarely offered. But what attracts the most attention is Tremembe's unique matchmaking system. Here, there is a special version of Tinder in prison. People from outside can register for visits, and if approved, they can meet prisoners more intimately than imagined. This allows Robinho, even while serving his sentence, to maintain his emotional life and personal relationships, a privilege ordinary prisoners never have. When combined, good food, sports, sunlight, protection from powerful groups in the camp, entertainment activities, and even connection opportunities. Robinho's life in this prison resembles a scaled-down version of his outside life, just limited by 4 walls instead of flights and stadiums. This is a distorted but honest picture of the gap between famous prisoners and ordinary prisoners. One side is still protected, while the other must face harshness every hour. And this leads to the most important question: when fame and money can soften punishment. Does justice still retain its meaning, or is it just a privilege for those famous enough to receive societal favor? Path Toys, the world's most humane prison model. Amid stories of prisons corrupted by money and power, Path Toys, a small island off Norway, is the complete opposite image. This is not a fake paradise created by smuggling, but a legal detention model based on trust and restoring human dignity. Here, comfort is not a privilege of the rich but a method for healing and reintegration. At Path Toys, the concept of prison cells almost disappears. Prisoners live in cozy wooden houses with private rooms, kitchens, and common areas, more like small apartments than detention places. Without high walls, watchtowers, or long lines of armed guards, they are free to move around the island from morning to evening, engaging in labor, cooking, exercising, or simply strolling on the beach. This environment makes them feel they are still human beings, not numbers locked in concrete cells. This place resembles a rehabilitation center more than a prison. Inmates cook their own meals using food they grow or is provided. They learn to plan menus, shop, and prepare meals, essential skills for life after serving their sentences.
The island also has all the amenities of a therapeutic resort: tennis courts, soccer fields, a gym, running tracks, and an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
In winter, they can ski right on the island. In summer, they can swim at a private beach. This is something most detention facilities worldwide wouldn't dare imagine. Thanks to this positive environment, inmates live as a small community. They follow rules not out of fear but out of mutual respect.
Each person has responsibilities: growing vegetables, tending livestock, repairing houses, gardening, or participating in vocational training classes.
Instead of waiting for time to pass, they use each day to learn, work, and rebuild healthy living habits. The effectiveness of Bastoy is evident in the numbers. The recidivism rate is only about 16%, the lowest in the world, while many other countries reach 60 to 70%. This shows Norway's philosophy, punishing by depriving freedom, not dignity, has produced tangible results, not just slogans. Those who leave Bastoy step out with vocational skills, confidence, and the ability to start life anew. Comparing Bastoy to luxury prisons created by corruption, like Machado or San Antonio, makes the difference even clearer. On one side, comfort is a commodity bought with money and power, the richer, the more privileged. On the other side, comfort is a tool for rehabilitation, granted to every inmate regardless of who they are. One side is a symbol of injustice. The other is proof that humanity and discipline can coexist without leading to chaos.
Bastoy shows that prisons don't necessarily have to be harsh, cold, or violent places.
They can become places to start over, where people learn to live better rather than becoming more dangerous. And sometimes, it is humanity, not severe punishment, that is the most effective way to keep society safe. Though they may look similar, each prison opens up a completely different world. In some places, power and money bend all rules. In others, humanity helps people be reborn. And in some, the line between freedom and confinement becomes merely a concept. These stories remind us that prisons are not just places to hold people, but also expose how society treats them. And ultimately, the most thought-provoking question remains: is the true purpose of imprisonment to punish, or to give people a chance to change?